Welcome back, trainer. So I finally just went ahead and maxed out my 9 attack, 15 defense, and 15 stamina Rampardos because I just wanted to have it. And I seen its attack was going to land at 40 DPS, so I'm okay with that. It's going to be a lot higher than Tyranitar, as we're going to see here in just a moment, even with that 9 in attack. Also, this image on the side here, or should I say this video, is from Trails' stream that he is doing. He's going through, and guess what, folks? The rest of Gen 4 have been added to the master files, so we could probably look forward to more dropping in Pokemon Go. Fingers crossed for Garchomp, because we all know we want that really bad. So this is pretty exciting stuff. The fighting event has just ended and nothing else has been announced except for the lunch raid tomorrow and then Rayquaza coming in on March 15th. So we are over here on the Go Hub. I will be leaving a link to Trails' Twitter in the description, as well as the Go Hub webpage, so you can go check out all the stats for Pokemon yourself as well. Now, Rampardos is an amazing looking Pokemon, no doubt about it for sure. Is it something you want to power up and invest in possibly for the future? We do have Rayquaza coming in, but Rayquaza is going to be 4 times weak to ice. Therefore, you may just want to go with your ice Pokemon and not max this out solely for that. Although it's not a horrible idea if you want to use unique Pokemon, something fun to throw into the mix, because I'm going to tell you right now, we did have Tyranitar coming in as #1 rock offensive Pokemon. And now this thing has stole the spotlight, not in a little way, but a big way, okay? This attack is a massive. So as we go down here, it's going to have a max CP of 3,298, attack 295. Jeez, are you kidding me? And yes, the defense is on the lower end, 109, but that's okay. Stamina 219, and that's where, you know, it makes up for that loss of defense. It is going to be a pure rock type. Personally went out to the gyms and gave it a test, and that rock throw, guys, I'm telling you, is massive hitting. All right, so let's go down here and take a look at its weaknesses. It's going to be a pure rock type, so it's going to be weak to fighting, grass, ground, steel, and water, resisting fire, flying, normal, and poison. Now, what is the moveset that you're going to actually want on this thing? So it's going to tell you Smackdown and Rock Slide is going to be your best. Then you have Smackdown and Outrage. Then Smackdown and Flamethrower, Zen Headbutt, Rock Slide, Zen Headbutt, Outrage, and then Zen Headbutt, Flamethrower. As far as Rampardos is going with the moves, it's looking absolutely fantastic. With a 295 attack, Smackdown, the best quick rock move in the game currently. And then you have Flamethrower, Rock Slide, and Outrage. I mean, Rock Slide is just great. If it has Stone Edge, I mean, it still would have been better than Tyranitar, but with Rock Slide, I mean, it's just giving it that edge with a double charge move. Then you have Flamethrower that doesn't cost that much energy in PvP, as well as Outrage is going to take the longest to finally get off in PvP, but it's still great coverage. I mean, you have a super effective move to Dragon types there. And then Flamethrower for those steel types possibly that you have to encounter, and then Rock Slide for your nice, extremely hard-hitting stab move. So Rampardos, guys, if you're considering it and you want to power one up, and you're like, is this really worth it? Yes, absolutely. Zen Headbutt, I mean, if you wanted to go with that, but pretty much what you're going to want to go with is Smackdown and then Rock Slide. If you purchase a secondary move, that's up to you. Think about Flamethrower, though. You will have coverage for possibly grass and steel types, right? And then Outrage. A lot of dragon types are flying, so you pretty much have that covered with Smackdown and Rock Slide, but the choice is yours. They're all magnificent moves. Alright, now let's go ahead and compare Rampardos to currently the best rock attacker in the game. That's going to be Tyranitar with Smackdown and Stone Edge. That was going to be a Community Day quick move. Pretty neat. So there we go, completely maxed out Rampardos there, and I will be purchasing a secondary move, just not currently right now. 75,000 Stardust. I could afford it, I just don't want to dump the rare candies into it again. I just did that to power it up. Alright, so both of them at level 40. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look. Rampardos is sitting at 9 attack in its IVs, and then 14 for defense, and then 15 in attack. And if you're scratching your head like, why did you go with that and max it out? Because I see it in the future now. We're going to get some sort of rock event, and they're going to be spawning all over, just like Krogunk was for this fighting event. And then I'll just power up another one, and it's perfectly fine, because as you can see, the DPS, not for PvP, but just for going up against raids, is going to be 40.4. Okay, so I mean, wow, that's a lot, guys. Now if we look at Tyranitar, this is going to be a 98%, sitting at 15 attack, 15 defense, and 14 stamina, 1 point off from 100. Smackdown and Stone Edge, and the Rampardos does have Smackdown and Rock Slide, okay? So the Tyranitar is going to be sitting at 32.4 DPS. So Rampardos is sitting 8 points higher than the former Rock King, Tyranitar, and now taking the throne. And it even looks like it's wearing a crown. I mean, the design through and through this Pokemon is amazing. So yes, the problem currently now is just trying to collect them. And I invested quite a bit of rare candies, so that's how I got mine. Hatched a couple and found a few in the wild and traded off a few, and then that's how I got my candies and walked it for about 20 kilometers. Although that's, I mean, it's practical, but it takes quite some time. If you're trying to evolve it now and get the candies, then rare candies are what you're going to want to go with. Anyways, there you go. Basically, Rampardos is much better. Now, if you're thinking, hold on, Poke, whoa, Tyranitar has a little bit more defense. Well, you're right, so let's go ahead and compare their stats and see what we have going on for that. Alright, so taking a look at their stats side by side, we see Rampardos has an attack of 295, while Tyranitar is sitting at 251. Rampardos' defense, 109, which is on the lower end. Tyranitar's 100 higher almost, with 207. And then for the stamina on the Rampardos, 219, and then Tyranitar 225. So if you're wondering, okay, so sure, Rampardos has a little bit more attack. Well, quite a significant amount. But Tyranitar's defense and stamina are better, so it should be able to survive longer, therefore putting out a little bit more damage on the field. But yes, technically, yeah, but what I'm trying to look at is the total damage as fast as possible, and Rampardos will be taking the cake for that. But as far as being able to survive longer in battle, yes, Tyranitar will be able to do that, although it does have a double weakness to fighting. But if you're going up against some sort of bird, legendary bird, whenever they come back, who knows, shiny form again, or anything that's pretty weak to rock, and you're using it to go up against them in a raid, yes, Tyranitar will survive longer, but Rampardos is going to be putting on massive damage. So if you had a full team of them, that's pretty much where you're going to want to be at if you're trying to take out that raid boss in specific time. Alright, so for the final test, we're over here on PvP Poke, and we're doing a PvP simulator here, going up against a Ho-Oh, both of them with their rock moves, and this is going to be in the Master League, okay? So they don't even have to get off their charges at all. It's just going to be Smackdown going up against that Ho-Oh. So we have Rampardos to the left, and then Tyranitar to the right. So we can see that Rampardos has 34 health left, okay? And then Tyranitar has 90. So there you go, right? Tyranitar will be able to survive longer for sure, but Rampardos is putting off more damage. And then if we take a look at Rampardos' time to win, it's going to be 10.5 seconds. Tyranitar is going to be at 12 seconds. So you can see the difference there. Rampardos is going to be putting off a lot more damage while not being able to survive as long, while Tyranitar is putting off just a little bit less damage and surviving quite longer. So I would even almost say Tyranitar is going to be your better investment, so you will be able to survive longer while still doing almost as much damage. Rampardos is that luxury, massive damage outputting Pokemon. If you're able to get your hands on a couple, or even one day max out a full team of them, you're going to be able to go into those Zapdos or whatever is weak to rock raids and just absolutely demolish them. Righty trainers, so the remainder of Gen 4 that is going to not just be a Dex entry, we have Hippowdon here, which is the hippopotamus ground type Pokemon. So if that is to come out before the Tempest Cup actually starts for your area or whatever is going on there, you can have this because ground type, so that's pretty neat. Same with Garchomp. That's going to be a game changer. I mean, it's going to be extremely weak to ice, so I don't know if you'd really want to go in there, although you have Altaria as well. But what makes Altaria so nice is that Dragon Breath in the cup, as well as Sky Attack, fairly low energy, pretty strong as well. Alright, moving along here. Magnezone as well, okay. We all want that. It's going to be a Sinnoh evolution. Leafeon and Glaceon, and we all want that as well too, right? Didn't come out, well, the Equinox event didn't really start, so we'll just have to wait and see if that's still to come. Then we have Probopass and the Rotoms, okay, so we have seen data mine, so possibly those are going to be coming fairly soon. The assets for the Pokemon have been added to the game the rest of Gen 4, so it's just a matter of time before they flip the switch. So I guess Gen 5 is not too far off, hey folks? By the end of this year, we possibly may be seeing some more of those, or even sooner. And then, of course, you have the Lake Trio, and then Palkia Dialga. We've already got those. Regigigas, and Giratina alternate form, Shaman, and then, of course, Arceus, like we see in the beginning. So, yeah, there's not too many more that we need. The Rotoms are probably going to be based off of the weather, like we went over in the previous video. So, kind of like the cast forms, right? Other than that, I mean, we're looking good. They dropped a lot of them already. And then we also have the Gastrodoms. So those should be a good entry as well. Those are going to be a water and ground type. So those are also going to be eligible for the Tempest Cup if they're released before it starts in your area. And with that said, trainers, I'd like to say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up because that does help me out quite a bit. I enjoyed making this video because Rampardos looks amazing, its attack is great, it's an all-round win-win. So if you're deciding and still are indecisive about trying to power one up, I say go for it because there's no going wrong. Just make sure the IVs are decent. With that said, trainers, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.